In the 1920s, two brothers, Eldon and Afton Coon, rebuilt a fishing boat in Port Townsend, Washington, and set sail to Alaska, where they quickly went into the charter business together. Afton settled in Sitka, Eldon in Ketchikan. Both married, raised families, and continued the Coon brother tradition, but it was Eldon who carried on the family's wanderlust. Eldon operated a successful charter boat business in southeast Alaska for over 40 years until a fateful shipwreck in 1969 sunk the boat. Eldon was 62. Being a seaman at heart, he decided that incident would not be the end of his seafaring days, and the next move, daring and bold as it may, was to build another boat. In order to do so, he would need to sell almost everything he and his family owned. He came to his wife, Jeanette, and told her about his dream and plan. Jeanette was a faithful wife and trusted her husband, but knew this decision would undoubtedly change their lives dramatically. She thought, prayed, and resolved in her heart that if they were really meant to move forward with this dream of Eldon's, she would need to sell their home. 10 days later, a woman knocked on her door and said she would like to purchase their house. Jeanette stood amazed, since they had not yet told anyone they were thinking of selling. She invited the lady in, and after giving her a tour, the woman exclaimed that she would like to buy their home with all furnishings included and had cash to pay in full. Jeanette couldn't deny the writing on the wall. It was time to build a boat. Eldon called on his two adult sons, Jim and Randy, and asked for their help. The sons obliged, met in Seattle, and soon the entire family not only rallied behind Eldon's vision for the future, but adapted it for themselves. The boat was a trimaran, and with the three of them working together, they decided the name would be Trilogy, which means 3 independent units tied together by a common theme. Not to mention, the project took 3 times longer than expected and 3 times the amount of money. Trilogy was christened in 1971, and their new 50-foot sailing trimaran carried the Coon Ohana from Alaska to Mexico, Central and South America, the Galapagos Islands, and eventually the South Pacific. It was there they decided, because of limited funds, to sail north to Hawaii and find work before continuing their around-the-world odyssey. Many years before, back in the 50s, a friend of Eldon told him about his vacation to Maui and Lanai. He said Lanai was quaint, beautiful, and mentioned to Eldon that he should make a business of sailing passengers on a day trip from Maui to Lanai. The idea really resonated with Eldon, so now, 20 years later on the shores of Hawaii, he knew it was time to try this inter-island day trip. The family met with Castle and Cook, the owners of Lanai back then, who said that they appreciated that the family had come to them before starting their business and gave the Coon family their blessing. They also reached out to the Lanai Kapuna and asked what they could do to be a good neighbor. The Kapuna asked that Trilogy not come to Hulapoi Beach Park on weekends or holidays, leaving the beach park for the local Lanai people. The Coons agreed and have honored that agreement to this day. Trilogy is the only company with permission for commercial access to Hulapoi Beach Park and pays a fee for each of their guests. This fee is sufficient to maintain Hulapoi Beach Park for the enjoyment of all. On July 5th of 1973, Trilogy ran its first Discover Lanai tour with a full load, 6 passengers. The experience was truly a family affair, with Mama Jeanette and daughter Patty baking the cinnamon rolls, Rand crewing the boat, and Captain Eldon at the helm. Jim was delivering a yacht to the mainland, which provided the funds necessary to start the business. In 1982, Eldon was 75 years old and found out he had leukemia. He died just 3 short weeks after arriving at the hospital. His last wish was that his ashes be scattered in the Au Channel between Maui and Lanai. The day of his ashes scattering, 23 boats came out to celebrate the life of this beloved captain. After the family grieved the loss of their father, they knew that Eldon's dream must continue, and that it did. Trilogy continued to gain ever-growing popularity and became a must-do Maui activity. Over the last 47 years, Trilogy has become a leader in the Hawaii ocean tourism community, running a sustainable eco-tour operation, employing over 100 residents in Maui County, owning 7 sailboats, and consistently running tours on a daily basis. The love for sailing and showing Hawaii visitors the best day of their vacation did not stop with Eldon's children either. 6 of his grandchildren run this business today. The legacy of Eldon's heart and courage live on through this remarkable business. And as Trilogy owners and employees proudly say, we may not be the reason you came to Hawaii, but here at Trilogy, we sure want to be the reason you come back.